The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and future, or future, whatever. Last night, Tuesday, September 28th, 1982, one of the wild and wackiest games you're ever going to have in a pennant race. The Detroit Tigers and Baltimore Orioles essentially playing for the American League East Championship over 3 nights in Detroit. It starts in the first inning. Chet Lemon, a solo homer to make it 1-0 Tigers. Then John Walkenfuss hits a 2-run shot to make it 3-0. Tiger Stadium in Fuego in the second. John Lowenstein, a sac fly, makes it 3-1. Then the Tigers pour it on in the bottom of the third. John Walkenfuss, sac fly, 4-1 Detroit. Then Mike Ivey, a 2 RBI single, 6-1. You think it's in control for Detroit? How about this? Alan Trammell doubles home Howard Johnson, and Larry Herndon singles home Alan Trammell in the fourth. It's 8-1. But don't count out the Chesterfields just yet. Terry Crowley doubled home Rick Stour in the sixth to make it 8-2. John Lowenstein's RBI single made it 8-3. Cal Ripken singled home Terry Crowley to make it 8-4, and then Len Sakata, of all people, makes it 8-7 on a 3-run shot. And Rick Dempsey, not even a rain delay, hits a solo shot at 7th to tie the game at 8. We go to the 9th inning, and it's Mike Ivey. A 3-run solo shot off of Tippy Martinez gives Detroit a huge win and an 11-8 victory as the Tigers and Orioles get set for action this afternoon. As Retro Sports Network presents the 1982 Major League Lunchtime Replay. Tonight, from Tiger Stadium in Detroit, it's the Baltimore Orioles and the Detroit Tigers. Jim Palmer on the hill for Baltimore, and Jerry Ugger going for Detroit. Presented, of course, by Patreon. A beautiful night, 75 degrees, winds at 5 miles an hour in from right center.
Play ball!
Yes, sir. All right, so let's fill you in on what happened between last night's stream and today. We moved forward 5 days, and as I said, we're going to try to get in every meaningful game that we can in the American League East. And so, here's the story. Baltimore and Milwaukee. They played a 3-game set in Milwaukee over the weekend, and Baltimore swept them. In effect, Milwaukee's out of the race. They are 6 back. Their elimination number is 1. So any Baltimore win or Milwaukee loss, and their season is done. So it really is down to Baltimore and Detroit. We will play Baltimore and Detroit in a couple minutes, and then we will play them tomorrow at noon. The Orioles have 6 games left to go in 1982. They play 4 against Milwaukee starting on Friday, a doubleheader. The Tigers, who are 2.5 out, have 7 games left in the regular season. 2 against Baltimore, which you'll see, and then a rare 5-game series against Cleveland. Yep, you heard that right. A doubleheader Friday, a doubleheader Saturday, and a single game Sunday. So depending on what happens the next 2 days, we'll figure out how we're going to do the Detroit-Cleveland series. But that's it. I'll show it to you in a second. The Orioles and the Tigers are in a virtual face-off for the American League East crown. California has clinched. They will await the American League East winner, and California next Tuesday night at 7 will host Game 1 of the American League Championship Series. Game 1 of the National League Championship Series is set. It's going to be in Montreal. It's a repeat of Blue Monday, maybe, as the Dodgers and Expos will lock horns. So on to the drama at hand here. It is Jerry Ugger and Jim Palmer. And before we get specific, here you go. Baltimore's magic number is 5. The Tigers have won 3 straight. The Orioles have won 8 of 10. The lead is 2.5 games. Like I said, Baltimore has 6 to go. Detroit has 7 to go. But if the Tigers can pull off the sweep, they can cut to a half game of Baltimore going into the weekend, which causes me fits because the Indians and Tigers have 2 doubleheaders on back-to-back days. If Baltimore wins the next 2, they can't clinch it, but they can get the tie and then win just 1 game over the weekend to force the issue. So how you doing, Bobby Cannavaro, Captain Carl? Shades of 67 for the Tigers because of 2 rainouts. They had to play a single game on Friday, then doubleheaders on both Saturday and Sunday. So the Tigers are right in at 88 and 67. The Orioles at 91 and 65. The Angels await the winner. So let's get to this. So glad to have you along. Jerry Uger, who is Baseball Demo's favorite pitcher, I think, is on the hill. He's looking for win number 13 on the year. This is his 24th start. He will start 1 more game in Cleveland. He has pitched twice against the Orioles. He is 0-2, however, despite only giving up a batting average of .212. So in 14 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 7 runs all earned, walked 12 and struck out 8. And as we wait for the computer to tell me when the last time he pitched, he pitched a complete game loss at Tiger Stadium to Cleveland. 9 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. He walked 3 and struck out 4. So in 166 2/3 innings, he's allowed 27 home runs, 139 hits, 85 runs, 80 earned, walked 77 and struck out 88. And in this big game, this is the lineup he will face. Al Bumbry will lead off and play center. Glenn Gulliver pretty much owns third base. He'll bat second. Kenny Singleton is a DH. He'll hit third. Eddie Murray in the driver's seat for an MVP is cleaning up at first. John Lowenstein is in left. He'll bat fifth. Joe Nolan is the catcher today. He'll bat sixth. Cal Ripken down to seventh in the lineup at short. Jim Dwyer is in right. He'll bat eighth. And Rich Dower will play second and bat ninth. Defensively for Detroit, Larry Herndon an 8-5 in left. Glenn Wilson a 6-8 in center. Chet Lemon a 5-9 in right. The infield, that's Howard Johnson at third. He's a 3. Trammell is a 9 at short. Tom Brookins and not Lou Whitaker. Remember, the Tigers were out of this in real life. Is at second and is a 3. And Enos Cabell is a 2 at first. The battery, Uger on the hill is a 7. Parrish a 5-8 behind the plate. Tiger Stadium is packed to the gills. 75 degrees. Winds blowing in from right center at 5. Bumbry at 260, 6 homers, and 46 RBI. And so let's do this. The Orioles can have a 3.5 game lead with a win. A Tiger win tightens it up to a 1.5 games. Uger deals and Bumbry ground ball to Brookins over to Cabell, and that's how this one starts 1 out. Glenn Gulliver on a 10-game hitting streak. I guess he hasn't played since last Friday night. 275, a homer, and 9 RBI. Uger deals. Line drive to Hojo, and Uger's hurt. He'll stay in the game. Sparky Anderson and the trainer come out, and I guess it's kind of like last night with Mike Flanagan and the blister. That time of year, you've thrown a lot of innings, and Uger says, I want to stay in the game, and they say, okay. So, I wonder if there'll be some Vaseline and some Band-Aids when we're done here. Ken Singleton at 241, 12 homers and 66 RBI. Glad to have you along here on a Wednesday afternoon here in the East. Hope it's kind of not ridiculously hot where you are. I know, especially in Bobby's case, that's not necessarily true. Pitch to Singleton. Ground ball to short. Trammell, you're going to go now? All right. See you tonight. Sarah's leaving for an appointment. So, anyway, no runs, no hits, and no errors. Yeah, you gotta leave it open, darling. After half an inning, Baltimore nothing. Here come the Tigers. And Jim Palmer, 14 and 12. He's gonna make two more. He's making a start tonight, and then we'll start once over the weekend. I want to say Sunday against the Brewers. 14 and 12 on the year with a 3.36 ERA. And has a save. Against the Tigers, this is his fourth start. But Detroit has hit him well. 20 and 2/3 innings in 3 starts, 22 hits. 12 runs, 11 earned. He has walked 3 and struck out 10. Is 2-1 with a 4.79 earned run average. His last start was against the Brewers over the weekend. 5 and 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 3 runs all earned. He walked 2 and struck out 5 to get that win. So in 222 and a third innings, he's allowed 19 homers, 192 hits, 89 runs, 83 of them earned. He has walked 75 and struck out 110. He beat the Tigers on June 27th and lost on July 2nd. So here's a lineup he'll face. Howard Johnson leading off for the Tigers. Like I said, we're doing as-played lineups here, and the Tigers were out of it. But you never know. Detroit has hung in there. Glenn Wilson will bat second. Larry Herndon will go third. Lance Parrish behind the plate cleans up. Chet Lemon is in right. He'll bat fifth. Enos Cabell will bat sixth. Mike Laga is the lone lefty in the starting lineup. Hojo's a switchy. He's your DH. Tom Brookins at second, and Alan Trammell batting ninth. Defensively for Baltimore, it's John Lowenstein, a 5 and a 2 in center, or left. Al Bunbury, an 8 and 6 in center. Jim Dwyer is in right, a 4 and a 3. Gulliver, a 5 at third. Ripken, a 5 at short. Rich Dower, a 3 at second. Eddie Murray, a 10 at first. And Joe Nolan, a 2 and a 5 behind the plate. Palmer, an 8 on the mound. How you doing, Tribe fan? Captain Carl has my weather, too. It's not going to be as hot as it is going to be this weekend. And there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms. It's rained here in Burlington most of the day. Tribe fan had the rain last night. How was your ball game, buddy? Howard Johnson, by the way, at 312, 2 homers, and 9 RBI. Palmer deals, and there's a ground ball to Gulliver, over to Murray. Hojo's running, and he beat it out. So a base hit all the way, and nobody out for Glenn Wilson. At 233, so underperformed in the batting average capacity. 10 homers and 43 RBI. Pitch to Wilson is a fly ball to left. Back goes Lowenstein. Makes the catch on the track, 1 away. For Larry Herndon at 294, 24 homers and 92 RBI. What a year for Larry. Palmer delivers. Ground ball to Gulliver, might be 2. Dower for 1, and there's no throw to first. Hojo with a roll block, and there's 2 out. For Lance Parrish, 297, 28 homers, 92 RBI. And Parrish lines out one into left field for a base hit. Lowenstein misjudged it, and Herndon's going to run all the way to third. And so the Tigers have runners in the corners and 2 out for Lemon. Chet at 299 on the season, 14 homers, and 70 RBI. Palmer does not have the rubber arm he used to have. That pitch count is not unlimited. And 115. And with last night's bullpen display on both teams, the Tigers blew an 8-1 lead, and the Orioles got stuck at 8-8. Pitch to Lemon. Fly ball, or popped up left side. It is a fly ball. Lowenstein is there. Lowenstein makes the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. After 1 inning, they've got Uja wrapped up with a Band-Aid and some Vaseline. He showed it to the home plate umpire on the way back out. No score. Game was fun. 2 hours, 7 delay meant I left in the bottom of the 7th last night. I did care when I got home. Yeah, I'd imagine. Baseball does not move all that fast anyway. Well, sorry you couldn't stay for the whole thing. Eddie Murray at 328. 27 homers, 113 RBI. No score, top the 2nd. Pitch from Ujer. There's a line drive to center, and Wilson's lined up for it, 1 away. There's John Lowenstein, 225, 18 homers, and 64 RBI. And Lowenstein lines this one to right center. Wilson's there, 2 out. So good scouting. And Ujer, after the injury, is the first 2 down here in the 2nd. Joe Nolan, 246, 5 homers, and 27 RBI. And Nolan sends that one high and deep to right. Back goes Lemon, and it's gone. So Joe Nolan puts the Orioles on the board with the 6th of the year. Here it is again. Just kind of hung up there. It's a 75-degree late September night. And so the air is thick, and Nolan took advantage. Number 6 for him. And that brings up Cal Ripken at 270, 30 homers, 108 RBI. Ujer deals, and that's set into right. Lemon comes in to make the catch. Jerry Ujer, they just wrapped it again with not an ace bandage, but some more gauze tape, and he feels comfortable gripping the baseball. A run on a hit, the solo shot by Nolan. Baltimore 1, Detroit nothing, bottom 2. So Cabell, Laga, and Brookins here to face Palmer here in the 2nd. Enos at 236. 2 homers and 35 RBI. Cabell deals, or pitch to Cabell. Ground ball to 3rd, over to Murray. 1 away. So tomorrow, our conventional Thursday lunch spot. The Orioles and the Tigers, the last time they meet in the regular season. If they split, we will have a special roll to see who would host a playoff game if we do go to that 163 on Monday. But right now, Baltimore's lead is 2.5. Mike Laga at 308, a homer and 6 RBI. 1 away. Ground ball to Gulliver. Over to first, and then there's 2 out. So Palmer just needs to keep it in the yard, eat some innings, pretend he's Pac-Man, and rest that pen. Tom Brookins at 222, 8 homers and 31 RBI. If the Indians would have kept the combined no-hitter, I would have stayed. Oh, but there was a zombie at work. And no one likes zombies. Especially Bobby. Pitch to Brookins is a base hit right side. Dwyer will pick it up on a hop. So that's the 3rd hit for the Tigers. No, Emmy, get down. Sarah, are you still here? Get down. Alan Trammell at 261, 8 homers and 60 RBI. Are you going to cuddle or what, Cat? Tribe fan will be right back. Did you know, Bobby, as I wait for my cat to settle down, that they actually have MREs, or meals ready to eat, in case of a zombie apocalypse? I'm not making that up. It's absolutely true. Palmer delivers. Fly ball left field. Lowenstein in the corner makes the catch. And that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors. We played 2. Baltimore 1, Detroit nothing. Yeah, I guess my wife is gone. The cat's actually being good now. So Jim Dwyer, Rich Dower, and Al Bumbry to face Ujer here in the 3rd. Dwyer at 368, so a good choice. 4 homers and 22 RBI. Pitch to Dwyer. Fly ball right field. Lemon has got it. Had to go back to the track, but he got it. 1 out for Dower. At 255, 5 homers and 51 RBI. Here's the pitch. And there's a base hit left center field. Wilson picks it up, throws it in the infield, and Dower's got a single. So Uger, through 9 batters, 38 pitches, 2 1/3 innings, 2 hits, the solo shot to Nolan. No walks or strikeouts, and Bunbury's 0 for 1. Let's see if the computer tries to bump Bunbury. It's not an advisable move. Uger's pitch, fly ball, shallow right. Lemon makes the catch. Dower goes back to first. 2 out for Glenn Gulliver, who's 0 for 1. I think we scared Bobby away. Here's the pitch. And there's a liner into center field. Extra bases. Gulliver's got a double. He slid in and beat the throw. Dower moves to third. So if you're a Oriole fan, you're loving this. Here's Singleton, 0 for 1. 1-0 Orioles. Dower on third, Gulliver on first. Uger deals, popped up left side. Hojo makes the catch to retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors. The Orioles strand 2. 2.5 in the books. Baltimore 1, Detroit 0. And so top of the lineup for Jim Palmer as Howard Johnson digs in. He singled his first time up. Palmer, 35 pitches through 9, 2 innings, 3 hits, and nothing else. Pitch to Hojo. Fly ball right field. Crowd likes it. So does Jim Dwyer, 1 away. Brings up Glenn Wilson, who's 0 for 1. Palmer from the line. Ground ball, base hit. Lowenstein scoops it up. Ripken should have dove, and he didn't. Or he did, but it was late. So a single for the Tigers, and Larry Herndon is 0 for 1. Pitch to Larry. Struck him out. So a full count, and Palmer got him with the knee cheese. He swung on and missed, and there's 2 away for Lance Parrish. Lance singled. He's 1 for 1. Pitch from Palmer. Ground ball up the middle. Dower. Bang, bang. Throw to Murray. And Parrish is retired. So no runs, 1 hit, and no errors. After 3, it's the Orioles 1, the Tigers 0. So Murray, Lowenstein, and Nolan for the Orioles here in the 4th. Murray's 0 for 1. Oh, I didn't realize you had buffering issues. Anyone else having those? Says I'm doing fine. Uger starts the 4th on 53 pitches. And Murray slaps out one to short. Trammell can't get a glove on it. He got it late. It kind of bounced off the chest, and there wasn't anything Trammell could do. And so that's an E6. And that'll bring up Lowenstein, who's 0 for 1. Pitch from Uger. Line drive to Trammell. He leaps and makes a fantastic catch. An absolute web gem. He robbed Lowenstein of a single for sure and makes up for the air. So what Detroit giveth, they taketh away. And that'll bring up Joe Nolan, who hit the lone run of the game, a solo shot in the 2nd. So he's matched his real-life home run total at 6. Yeah, you got all... Okay, no problems for Captain and Baseball Demos. We've missed you. Not only did you get an Uger start, but Mike Ivey had a 5 RBI game last night. To recap, these are the 2 teams that are left. Milwaukee was swept over the weekend by Baltimore, and they're 6 back. And so this is it. This is the American League Championship. American League East Championship is between these 2 teams. Pitch to Nolan, who homered. That's going to drop for a base hit. Wilson will pick it up. That kind of dropped between and that Bermuda Triangle out there. and Murray stops at second. Ujer, by the way, had a blister on his finger in the second and third inning, but is fine now. Cal Ripken's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, shallow center. Wilson has got it. Murray is not going to challenge Wilson's arm. And there's 2 out for Jim Dwyer, who's 0 for 1. Meeting work gets in the way. Oh, okay. That does happen, you know. So noontime tomorrow, these 2 teams again, and then we'll evaluate and see. Because it gets messy on that Friday. Let me tell you. Jim Dwyer retired his first time up, popped up, left side, rainmaker, skies one to Trammell on the shortstop, and that will retire the side. The Orioles put 2 on and do not score. No runs, a hit, and 1 error. After 3.5, it's Baltimore 1, Detroit nothing. So Lemon, Cabell, and Lauger. Ujer reminds him too much of Uber. And if you got to tip him like you do if you get Mickey D's through the Uber Eats, oh boy. Actually, they've never done that. There's 8,000 places that deliver for cheaper. Chet Lemon is 0 for 1, by the way. Palmer on task here to go for 6. Hopefully he can go longer. Lemon, line drive to Ripken, 1 away. In case you missed it in the open, Baltimore had an 8-1 lead and blew it last night. Or Detroit had an 8-1 lead, rather, and blew it last night. Baltimore tied the game at 8, but Mike Ivey walked it off on a 3-run shot in the 9th. So the margin coming into tonight's game is 2.5. Baltimore ahead. Cabell's 0 for 1. And Palmer got him. He swung on and missed an off-speed pitch on a 1-2 count, and that's the Palmer method, 2 away. For Mike Laga. Everybody open up your straws and take a sip. He's 0 for 1. Palmer deals. Fly ball, left field. Lowenstein is there, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the top of the 5th. Jerry Ujer back out there. Baltimore 1, Detroit nothing. I am managing the Tigers since they are the home team. Yes. And I will do that tomorrow night, too. Now, point of order as we start the 5th. It'll be Dower, Bunbury, and Gulliver to face Ujer. Depending on what happens and how much of a chance Detroit has, any of that last weekend series between Detroit and Cleveland, I'm going to be managing Detroit. The rare road team thing, because for Cleveland it doesn't matter. So, but they have that weird Friday doubleheader, Saturday doubleheader. What I might do is play, we'll see. It really depends on what happens between now and tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Dower singled his first time up. He's 1 for 1. Ujer, fly ball, right in the left field, Ron. Herndon is there, 1 away. Right now, it's kind of like Bonnie Franklin and Valerie Bertinelli, just one day at a time, with Pat Harrington acting like a buffoon. Al Bunbury is 0 for 2, so Jerry Ujer threw 18 batters, 4 1/3 innings. He could go the distance. 4 hits, the solo shot to Nolan, the only run, and he hasn't walked or struck out anybody. Bunbury's 0 for 2. And he sends this one into center. Wilson's there, 2 out. For Glenn Gulliver, 11-game hitting streak, doubled. Last time up, he's 1 for 2. And there's a ground ball to first. Cabell flips it over to Ujer. And we're halfway home. No runs, no hits, no errors. This one is tighter than a Dan Rather pun. Baltimore 1, Detroit nothing. So as Tom Brookins steps to the plate, Joe Nolan with a solo shot. He has half of Baltimore's hits. and Palmer has scattered 4 hits through 4. A very early 80s game for sure. Pitch to contact, boom, boom, boom. Schneider, yep, I love Schneider. Okay, so I'm going to go on camera for just a second. Point of order. So for the weekend, whatever, like I said, Friday's a logjam because you got double headers, and I really don't want to stream 4 games in one day. But I don't know what's going to happen until we get through the tomorrow's Baltimore-Detroit game. So for the playoffs, for games 1 and 2, I'm going to manage the home team. So it'll be the Angels and the Expos. In games 3, 4, and 5, of course, we switch. There's no going back for game 5, so if necessary. So for any deciding games, I will pull the visitor's pitcher if needed, but anything else would be at the discretion of the computer. So kind of like what I did in that game 3 between the Pirates and the Orioles in that 70s tournament. So limited visitor interruption need be if the series is on the line, if it's an elimination game. Playoffs, by the way, start Monday night at 7. Game 1 of the National League Championship Series in Montreal between the Dodgers and the Expos. All right, enough of me. Tom Brookins is 1 for 1. He singled. Palmer delivers. Ground ball to Gulliver over to first for the out, 1 away. So Alan Trammell, who made an error and then immediately made amends for it with an absolute web gem, is 0 for 1. Baltimore plays for a bunt. I don't think you need to bunt this early. But Gulliver and Murray come in. Palmer deals, and Trammell strikes out. Full count, and he swung on and missed, and that's 3 for Palmer. And through 18 batters, Palmer at 79 pitches, 4 2/3 innings, he has struck out 4 hits rather, and struck out 3. Howard Johnson is 1 for 2 with a single. Palmer deals, and he gets Hojo to swing and miss at a 1-2. So nothing across in the bottom of the 5th after 5. Baltimore 1, Detroit nothing. Dave Gardner's the only one that misses the tennis. A lot of people watched, and I had 2 dislikes. I don't know. Yeah, you missed the tennis. You're one of the ones that hit the dislike there, Gardner. Kenny Singleton is 0 for 2. Dave and I are going to be exploring the world of podcasting together on the new show Digital to Dice. Look for details soon on both of our channels. Kenny's 0 for 2. It'll be Singleton, Murray, and Lowenstein here on the top of the 6th to face Uger. And Kenny sends that one into right. Lemon is there, 1 away. Eddie Murray's 0 for 2. Eddie, one of the many contenders for the MVP award. That probably will not be decided until we know who wins the East. I mean, Detroit has some good ones, and California just overachieved as well. Murray draws a walk. Ball 4 for Lowenstein, who's 0 for 2. So Sparky just kind of rocking back and forth. He doesn't want to get too far behind. Uger deals. Ball 4. And there's stirring in the Tiger pen. 1 out, though, for Joe Nolan, who was singled and homered. No, I labeled it as a replay, and I think people actually thought it was a edited highlight replay. And so, no, I didn't get much love for that one, which is too bad because the match actually itself was pretty fun. Parrish and Uger decide to chat. Nolan line drive to Brookins, and everyone hangs close to the base, 2 out. So Uger 1 out away from getting out of it. Cal Ripken 0 for 2. Uger deals, and there's a line drive past first. Murray will hold at third. No, he's going to try and score. Lemon picks it up. He's throwing it home. The throw to Parrish gets away from everybody. And so Lowenstein and Ripken move up as Lemon throws it away. In fact, Lowenstein will score because it just hit off the backstop, and it's 3-0 Baltimore. And so this place goes quiet for Jim Dwyer. Right now they're saying all 3 runs are earned. But you gotta wonder. 3-0 Baltimore. Pitch to Dwyer. Ground ball, base hit left, right side. Ripken will score. It's now 4-0 Baltimore. And Sparky's gotta make the move. He's gonna go with Elias Sosa and you here in the top of the 6th. Elias Sosa, 4-2 with 3 saves and a 5.79 ERA. But he's got the fresh arm. Light's making his 43rd appearance. He has pitched twice against Baltimore. Both times kind of, well, I'm not sure successful would be the words I would use. Last time was last week in Baltimore. 4 innings. 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned a walk and a strikeout. So Sparky has used him a bunch down the stretch. 70 innings, 11 homers, 87 hits, 50 runs, 45 earned, 27 walks, 32 strikeouts. Rich Dower is 1 for 2 with a single. And Jim Dwyer is on first. The Orioles with 3 here in the 6th to make it 4-0 Baltimore. And Dower, ground ball up the middle. Brookins throws it over to Cabell, and that will retire the side. That was Trammell, rather. 3 runs, 2 hits in an error. After 5.5, Baltimore 4, Detroit nothing. And it'll be Wilson, Herndon, and Parrish to face Palmer here in the bottom of the 6th. Randy Luxembourg, how are you? He is feeling the magic right now. Randy, you missed it earlier. Over the weekend, since we played the last game, the Orioles swept the Brewers. And so the next Baltimore win or Milwaukee loss ends the Brewers season. They're 6 back. Right now, the Tigers are 2.5 back. They play today, they play tomorrow, and then Detroit heads to Cleveland for 5. Baltimore 4 against Milwaukee at home. Wilson is 1 for 2. Got himself a single. Palmer delivers. Line drive to third. Gulliver's there. 1 out. So Baltimore in the driver's seat. But remember, they crawled back from an 8-1 deficit to lose 11-8 in the Tuesday game. Larry Herndon is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And Palmer walks him. So Herndon has 9 steals. He's not going here. Parrish is 1 for 2 with a single. 4-0 Baltimore, bottom of the 6th. Jim Deals struck him out. That's 5 for Palmer. He got him on a 1-2 pitch on the outside corner, and that brings up Lemon. It was his bad throw that caused another run to score. So you can't make big mental mistakes this time of year. It's going to eat you up. Lemon is 0 for 2. Popped up. Center field. Bunbury makes the catch, and that will retire the side. No runs a hit and no errors. Tigers have left 5 on after 6. Baltimore 4, Detroit nothing. Well, that's Earl's last team outside of what, 86? He came back for 86, right? Joe Altobelli's the one that won them the World Series in 83. And so I think at this point they knew that Earl wasn't coming back. So lots of mixed emotions for the Orioles. It'll be Bunbury, Gulliver, and Singleton Here in the top of the 7th, Bunbury's 0 for 3. Pitch to Al from Sosa. Ground ball to Trammell. Over to Cabell. 1 away. So Sosa's not a good fielder, by the way. He's a 2. Gulliver, now on an 11-game hitting streak. 1 for 3 with a double. Sosa deals. Ball 4. So Gulliver walks, and his speed is about as good as mine. Kenny Singleton's 0 for 3. Kenny, 1 out. Top the 7th. And he strikes out. Sosa got him. A 1-2 pitch in at the knees. 85 for strike 3. So the first strikeout for Sosa. And that brings up Eddie Murray. 0 for 2. He has walked and scored. Weaver got blasted by Bill James by how he mismanaged the Orioles. You know, I'm not sure mismanage is the right word. I definitely think he overmanaged. He got caught up in a tidal wave in 69, but had big leads in 71 and 79 and couldn't get it done. And I think by 82, and Randy can correct me if he thinks I'm wrong, I just think he was burnt. And then they found themselves in the last week of a race. And Milwaukee was just the better team that one particular weekend, but they don't have to worry about the Brewers in this replay. Pitch to Murray. High fly ball to center. Wilson's there, and that will retire the side. Stretch time here in Detroit. Right now, it's Baltimore 4. I hit the right button. Tigers, nothing. And a thank you to our Patreons that are watching in the channel. Bobby Catalano, Baseball Demos, and of course, Dale Lonsdale, Al Red Sox fan, David Little, and some others. Thank you so much for your patronage. If you're interested in leaving a tip, patreon.com/RetroSportsNetwork. Or if you want any game played for $10 in the Action PC family like Kurt Berglund and Dave Little have taken advantage of, $10 will get you what you want. So do that today if you're interested. If not, thank you oh so much for your subscription anyway. All right, so it'll be Cabell, Laga, and Brookins to face Palmer here in the bottom of the 7th, and Palmer probably his last inning. Cabell is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Palmer deals. Ground ball to short. Ripken better hurry. 1 out. Let's see. Altobelli won with Earl's team when Weaver came back. He had little to work with other than a couple of decent bats, and the pitching was non-existent in '86. Outside of well, you still had Flanagan and you had Boddicker, but it wasn't like it was in the '70s for sure, or even this team. So Laga is 0 for 2. He's going to stay in the ball game. Palmer's pitch, and there's a number down to first. Murray flips it over to Palmer for the out. 2 away. Tom Brookins is 1 for 2. He is singled. And so Palmer is going to give Earl 7 innings. Pitch to Brookins. Got him! How about that? A 1-2 on the outside corner for strike 3 looking. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 7, Baltimore 4, Detroit nothing. The last weekend in Baltimore, the O's were 4 back with 4 to play. Baltimore won the first 3 to pull within the game, and Palmer versus Sutton. Yep. So Baltimore was the hunter that particular season, and Baltimore is the hunted today. And if you missed it, Randy, the next Baltimore win or Milwaukee loss knocks them out. So Milwaukee now essentially in the role of spoiler. Sosa giving me the fatigue warning as we start the 8th. So Baltimore took care of business on the road. John Lowenstein is 0 for 2. He's a walk and a run scored. Sosa deals, and there's a fly ball to right. Lemon 1 away. Joe Nolan is the big hero. Solo shot in the 2nd, 2 for 3. 6th homer of the year, 28 RBI. Pitch to Joe. Right back up the middle. Sosa throws it to Cabell. 2 out. So the Tigers have gotten good stuff out of Sosa today, 2 full innings. Here's Cal Ripken. 1 for 3 with 2 RBI. That also came in the 6th. And a run scored. Base hit left side. And Ripken's on with a single. Now who's hurt? It's Ripken. So Ripken, I'm not sure what happened. He's pointing to his tushy. And John Shelby's going to run it first. And so if you're wondering about that consecutive inning streak, which he carried through most of the 80s, that's not gone. Of course, it could always come back, but Jim Dwyer, 1 for 3. He is single, driven, and a run. Shelby on first. He's the pinch runner. Sosa's pitch, and there's a base hit in the right center field. Shelby will go to third, and Dwyer is on with a single, and Sparky comes to get Sosa. So we got ourselves a pitching change. It's going to be Bob James. Or wait, they're going to check on Sosa. Sosa is okay. And so Sosa looks around. Does he go with Rucker? I think he might go with Rucker. October 2nd is Sunday. Is there is the DH on Sunday? Can't go with Morris. Morris goes tomorrow. Petrie goes on Saturday. They must have called somebody up. And Rucker will go on Saturday. But they're going to bring him in to face Dower here. Rucker making appearance number 20. He will start once more. He threw a week ago 2 2/3 innings against Baltimore. 2 hits. A run it was earned. He walked 1 and struck out 1. In 49 innings, he's allowed 3 homers, 36 hits, 14 runs, 12 earned. He's walked 18 and struck out 16. And so he's in pretty much to see if he can spell Tobic at least a few pitches. Pitch to Dower, who's 1 for 3. Ground ball to Cabell, takes it to the bag at first. And that will retire the side. And so after 7.5, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. It's Baltimore 4, Detroit nothing. And Palmer, despite technically being fatigued, is going to stay in the ballgame. Trammell, Johnson, and Wilson due up here in the bottom of the 8th. Trammell 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Yeah, you know, game engines don't care about history like that. I remember when I got Stratomatic Mike back for the 1990 season, it didn't even, this was before you could do as played, I think. It would try to bench Ripken every once in a while. And so, just because he played in 162 doesn't mean computers will start him in 162. Trammell's 0 for 2, and he lines that one into center, and that's a base hit. Sakata now is at short. He's a 3. And Palmer gets the ball taken away for John Flynn. So Earl's happy with how Palmer pitched. He cannot lose it. He can win it. And John Flynn, who pitched in one of the last times we had the Orioles on, is magnificent. He has no record in 12 and a third inning, but he also has no ERA. In 2 innings against the Tigers last night, he struck out 1. So 12 innings, 7 hits, 2 walks, and 17 strikeouts. Trammell, do I? Oh, I do. So Hojo 1 for 3 with a strikeout and a single. Trammell goes, Nolan throws down to Sakata, and that goes into center field. And so Trammell just keeps hustling, and that's an E2. So the Tigers have a runner on third, nobody out for Howard Johnson. And a 1-ball count from Flynn. Yeah, you kind of would have to take off the injury plus on the PC cards. Yeah, Flynn just I'm impressed. I don't remember him at all, but my goodness, we've used him, I think this is the third or fourth time, and he's lights out. Pitch to Hojo. Ground ball to Sakata. Trammell's going to score. Throw to first is in time, and it's 4-1 now. So that run is charged to Palmer, and Jim's day is done. Wilson is 1 for 3. He's got himself a single. Pitch to Glenn. Ground ball to Murray. Takes it to the bag. It's out at first, and there's 2 out. So Bunbury, Gulliver, and Singleton in the 9th, and I guess you can't use Rucker too long because he's going to pitch 31 in 2 days. Larry Herndon is over 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. A 1-2 inside on the black, and after 8, Baltimore 4, Detroit 1. So Rucker will pitch to Bunbury and Gulliver, and then that'll probably be it. Bunbury's 0 for 4. Remember these 2 teams tomorrow at noon as we replay the last week of the Major League season in real time, with the only race undecided being the American League East, and you're watching the 2 teams that can do it. A Baltimore win ends Milwaukee's chances. Their elimination number is 1. Pitch to Bunbury. Ground ball to Cabell, and Cabell eats it. That hit off the heel of his glove, and that'll bring up Gulliver, who's going to get pinch hit for, I'm sure. 1 for 3 with a double. And Benny Ilea at the plate. Benny at 296, 8 homers and 20 RBI. And we're going to see 2 things going on here. Rick Leach comes into play first. And they're going to go with Dave Tobick to pitch. So Tobick 5-4 with 8 saves. If the Tigers do win the division, he's their closer. And a 2.66 ERA. Inning-wise, he could pitch from now to the cows come home. 25th appearance. He pitched last night 2 innings against Baltimore and allowed a walk. So in 47 1/3 innings, he's allowed 3 homers, 35 hits, 16 runs, 14 earned. He has walked 12 and struck out 29. And if you're wondering about, oh my God, his numbers against Baltimore, 1-1 with an ERA of 7.94. 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs all earned. So the Orioles looking to add on here. Ilea weaves it back and forth, and Tobick got him to chase on a full count. 1 away for Singleton, who's 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Ilea, whatever. No reservation for Hojo. I don't remember. I've made the Bonner joke. Richard, how you doing, buddy? No, the Cal Ripken rookie card. The three rookie one from 82. Bonner was one. Ripken was the other. And I forget who was the third. Jeff Schneider. Okay. Pitch to Singleton. Struck him out. So Tobick has 2 strikeouts. 1-2 in at the knees. And Eddie Murray looking to go with a 7-game hitting streak. For Detroit, Parrish, Lemon, and Leach. Tobick from the line with 2 outs. He got Murray to chase on an 0-2 pitch, and the side is down. No runs, no hits, and 1 error. We go to the bottom of the 9th here at Tiger Stadium. Baltimore 4, Detroit 1. Yeah, it's warm here. Lance Parrish, Chet Lemon, and we'll see. To face Flynn here in the bottom of the 9th. The Oriole win knocks out the Brewers. cuts the magic number to 3, and the lead over Detroit will be 3.5. Parrish 1 for 3 with a strikeout. Flynn's pitch. Ground ball to Rayford, who's at third. Over to Murray, 1 away. So Rayford a 3. He's in for Gulliver. Lemon, who you're not going to yank, is 0 for 3. Nope, we're talking about the Cal Ripken rookie card. Pitch to Lemon. Right back to Flynn. Over to Murray. And now we're down to the last out. And Sparky looks to his bench. Helpful if I hit the right button. Who can hit a righty? It's not Mike Ivy. Lou Whitaker. The last chance for the Tigers at 301, 20 homers and 69 RBI. Flynn, hoping to really put a dent in Detroit's chances. Here's the pitch. There's a base hit into right center field. Whitaker will hold it first, and the Tigers are still alive. For Mike Laga, who is 0 for 3. 4 runs, 8 hits, an error, and 9 left on for Baltimore. 1 run, 6 hits, and 3 errors for the Tigers. They've left 5 on. Brookins and Trammell are in the hole if Laga can continue the game. Flynn deals. Struck him out. The Orioles lead is 3.5. That's a big one for Baltimore. They win this one 4-1, and the Brewers have been eliminated. So Jim Palmer, it goes to 15-12. He goes 7 innings, allows 5 hits, 1 run, unearned. He walked 1 and struck out 6, and Flynn is making a case for himself here. 2 innings, a hit, and 2 strikeouts. Jerry Uger, 5 2/3 innings in the loss, 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a homer to Joe Nolan. The solo shot in the second. He walked 2 and struck out none. Sosa, Rucker, and Tobic combined to keep the Orioles off the board. And Tobic, with yeoman's work, to strike out all 3 he faced in the 9th inning. So Cal Ripken will be back tomorrow. You can rest assured of that. 2 for 4 with 2 RBI. And so Cal is our MVP of the game, and Baltimore has eliminated Milwaukee with a 4-1 win. And so we'll show you the updated standings. Baltimore's magic number is 3. They have 5 games left. They have 1 more against Detroit, which you'll see tomorrow at noon. And then it's 4 against Milwaukee. So they are sitting awful pretty right now. And you can see Montreal and Los Angeles, they're going to be 100-win teams facing each other. So Montreal has set a franchise record for wins. And California, Kansas City just fell right apart. Seattle's going to finish second in that division. Okay, so that will do it for now. Baltimore in the driver's seat. I thought I was going to play like 18 games this week, and I'm not sure I'm going to have to. So tomorrow for sure against Detroit. And if Baltimore wins, they'll have clinched a tie, and then we'll start with the Baltimore-Milwaukee doubleheader Friday. Time to be determined to see if that even matters. But Baltimore, their fate is in their hands. 5 to go, 3.5 game lead. And so then you get the chance for the Star-Cross Series. You got Earl Weaver versus Gene Mauch. Apparently that's how it's going to go, but you just never know for sure until we get some closure. And so as far as closure is concerned, tomorrow at noon for Baltimore and Detroit, an Oriole win pretty much seals the deal. And until then, I'm Ron Juckett for Retro Sports Network. Hit that like, subscribe, and hit the bell when we go live. Until tomorrow, or maybe tonight, depending on what someone else is going on. I'm Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you the next time.